Alrighty, we're live. Took me a little long to get started up, but I'm here. Hello there, my dear. Welcome to the stream. Let's see, will OBS hurry up and there we go. I just need to shift it over a little again. I keep forgetting that Katawa Shoujo is it's not 16 by 9, it's a square. Well, not quite a square. I was excited for your own guess. Oh, I'm sure. I've been looking forward to some more of it. Yeah. Reason I'm a little bit later is because I kind of realized I didn't have a drink ready, so I needed to quickly get some. Which does unfortunately mean it's not going to be refrigerated. Make sure I've got. I can't talk for hours on end without a drink to keep me going. Just a little annoyed it's not going to be chilled. I like my chilled drinks. Alright. 9 hours in, the invisible rock. Let's just get right into it. I am looking forward to seeing where this story goes. This is immediately a sentiment I can relate with. The morning is far too early for my taste. Why does early have to be early? Can early not be like 1 in the afternoon? Is that not a better time for early? It doesn't help that I had trouble sleeping last night. There were simply too many things to think about. My mind refused to slow down. Give me a quick reminder, what exactly? Okay, yeah, it was the first date. I was kind of like, I remembered the events of last stream, it's just trying to remember, like, what order did they happen? You're 50-something hours in, but some of it was you falling asleep while reading in your own time. Oh, okay. You weren't content to wait for streams, I take it? Instead, I replayed the rooftop, the park, and everything else over and over in my mind. There's a small part of my mind that is still paranoid that this has all been some kind of joke. That I'll meet up with Emi at the track and she'll act like nothing happened yesterday. Pushing these thoughts to the back of my mind, I throw on my running clothes and open the door. Emi's waiting for me with her usual smile. You're late. Or, at least, you're not early today. Are you tired or something? I found myself ruefully rubbing the back of my head. Something like that, yeah. Lots to think about and all that. Emi giggles at my mild understatement. Yeah, I didn't sleep that well either. I was actually glad you weren't early, because I wasn't early either. You had made the decision to read on your own time after finishing. Oh, and then... Did you just kind of... Did it just convince you that... No, I want to save this for stream. Oh, yeah. You changed your mind and went back to stream. No, I think that I don't. There was one game. I'm trying to remember which game it was that I did that with. It wasn't. I don't think I've ever stopped streaming something and then gone back to it. But I do remember there was a game which I started playing in my own time, but then quickly stopped and was like, no, this needs to be a. That's bothering me now. What game was it? I have a folder of all my completed games. Which one was it that I started playing and then was like, nope, this has... No, nope. I can't remember. I know there was a game like that where it mustn't be on Steam. It must have been one of the ones I have on the Epic Store or something. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. back to the story. I wonder if the same thing kept us awake. The image of her weeping face passes through my mind. What kept you up? Emi's expression falters, but she quickly notices my curiosity and forces a smile. Get back to me. Alrighty, I will resume. I'll try my best not to get distracted. But you know how my brain works. Nothing important. She's obviously not telling me something. The question is, should I press the issue? Something's clearly been bothering her for a while. I want to help her, but would it just come off as me being nosy? She's got to know I care about her, though. Are you sure? If something's bothering you, I'm here to help you sort it out. Emi laughs then, but it's not her usual laugh. There's an edge to it that seems almost bitter. Sort it out? I'm not sure it can be sorted out, Hisao. An almost grim smile crosses her lips. It's like a smile of resignation. I don't think you could help me anyway. That hurts. I don't want to say that it hurts to her, but it does. Doesn't she realize I want to be there for her when things go wrong? Well, I won't push you on the matter. But I'm here for you if you decide later that you'd like to talk about it. It might help. I can see the debate raging behind Emi's eyes. It seems like she wants to tell me, but she's not sure whether or not she can. And just now don't get involved unless it's directly affecting you, social interaction, and... Yeah. So, I kind of... This is one of the situations I'm not quite sure what the right choice is in real life. The idea of if someone, whatever's bothering Emi isn't directly affecting him. I kind of yes and no with that, because I feel at the point where I suppose like they've only had one date, so maybe like Emi doesn't consider it that serious yet. But I feel with your... If something's affecting your partner, it's going to affect you as well. I feel in a healthy relationship there probably should be a certain level of... I don't know if empathy is quite the right word. I feel that empathy is more about trying to experience someone else's feelings. Whereas I feel in a relationship, like if your partner's upset, you feel upset yourself. It's not necessarily you're feeling their feelings. Like you're not trying to empathize. It's when your partner's happy, you're happy. But yeah, like I said, Emi could think they're not close enough. It's only been one date. They haven't really had a talk about like how serious are they about this. Because it was rather a spontaneous confession as well. No, I'm overthinking this. I'm sure the story will give me a solution at some point. Hey, forget about it for now, okay? We've got running to do. The mention of running, something that she can handle, brings Emi back to her usual self. Right. Hurry up and stretch out, Hisao. We've got to get moving. She takes off like a shot, far quicker than I'm used to. Trying to escape the conversation. Just catching on things you hadn't noticed or thought before. Yeah. With all the benefits of hindsight. Still, I try to keep pace with her, recklessly testing my limits. It gives me a feeling of freedom, like my heart is no longer important. I find myself wanting to laugh, filled with the feeling of moving beyond what I once called my boundaries. The nurse's warnings not to overdo things echo in my mind, and I don't disregard the nurse! This feeling I have, this willingness to risk a heart attack for something so trivial as a morning run, feels out of character for me. But is it? Or rather, should it be? I've got a weak heart, sure. It'll never be capable of the kind of speed and endurance Emi's capable of. Though, I probably wouldn't be able to get that good even if I had a healthy heart. As we round a final bend, I feel my legs screaming in protest, but for the first time, I ignore them. I accelerate to finish at a sprint, nearly catching up to Emi. That was never going to happen, of course. Still, I feel surprisingly good. Oh sure, my legs feel like they're about to catch fire and I'm having trouble staying upright. But there's been a shift of some sort today. And it's all thanks to the girl grinning at the finish line, waiting for me. That felt a little faster than usual. My comment is met with a grin and a shrug. Can't have you think I was going to go soft on you now, can I? Bet you managed to handle it just fine. Huh, I couldn't have done it without you. Aside from my body almost collapsing down, I'm feeling great. See, there's parts of this that kind of... like, it does concern me a little bit, because I've known... not directly, but kind of... I've known people who have known people who have been, like, hospitalized for basically, like, exercise addiction. Like, it starts off just, like, going to the gym or, like, starting to, like, do things like running or something, but it becomes, like, the high they get from it, like, keeps them pushing themselves beyond what's healthy. I don't feel Hisau's quite into that situation, but the disregard for his heart sometimes gets a little concerning. Still feeling the high from the run, and moved by a surge of gratitude, I seize Emi in a hug. Thanks. Really, I'm not just saying that. I'm in your debt. Emi seems flustered by my words, squirming uncomfortably. Don't be silly, Hisao. Someone had to haul you out here, didn't they? And it's not like you're not doing anything for me, right? I needed a running partner, remember? I shake my head, still pointedly not letting go of Emi, who stops squirming and merely looks up at me with a quickly deepening blush that almost seems out of character. No, that's not true. You wanted a running partner, but you didn't need one. If I hadn't shown up the day after the festival, you would still run, right? But it doesn't work the other way around. I only managed to make it out a few times before the festival. And without you, I probably wouldn't have made it out at all after that. Emi smiles at me and prods my chest with one finger. You are pretty lazy, Hisao. I was giving you a compliment. Well, you're welcome, I guess. I'll pay you back somehow. Oh, well, that's not necessary, you know? I mean, I kinda like you, Hisao. And being able to run with you in the mornings isn't exactly a bad deal for me either, so... For someone who gets so much praise, she seems unused to gratitude. I can't think of anything else to say, so we fall silent. I become aware of Emi's breathing, of the dampness of her clothing, and of the scent of her. Coming off of anyone else, it would stink. Reminds me of someone. I'm getting better. That's something. Shush. I'm not streaming this so you can call me out, Mooney. coming off of Emi. It fits her in a way nothing else could. Her skin is cool, slick with sweat, and a breeze causes goosebumps to rise. Has recalled you how to. Oh boy. Once I'm done, I'll maybe, if I can get the focus, I'll have to come around and see if I can watch back some of your streams. Almost without thinking about it, I lean down and meet Emi's mouth, which has already moved to meet my own. Her lips are soft, and she hums happily as we kiss, sending vibrations from her mouth to mine. There's a startling rightness to everything about this moment. We fit one another perfectly. The kiss ends, and I finally let my arms drop back to my sides. Emi is smiling warmly at me and giggles again. Come on, Hisao. We better go see the nurse. Then it happens. Oh. As she turns to begin walking, she gives out a tiny yelp and stumbles forward. Emi! I leap to steady her and notice with some concern that she's favouring the same leg as last night. Your leg. Emi seems panicked and pushes away from me. It's fine. My expression must seem hurt because she hastens to apologize. Sorry. I didn't mean to push you like that. I was just... She stumbles for something to say. It's nothing, really. Hey, don't worry about it. She's so flustered, I decide to shrug the whole thing off. But there's a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach now that won't go away. I tried to step in and help her, and she pushed me away. Smiling, I shove those thoughts to the back of my mind and concentrate on Emi. I just don't want you getting hurt, that's all. You don't have to worry about me. Honest. I'm fine. Yes, you say that, but I don't believe you. Why won't you tell me what's wrong? It's like she gets offended by my trying to help. What am I supposed to make of that? It's hard to help someone who doesn't want helped. I'm still trying to sort out what happened on the track as we arrive in front of the nurse's office. Emi raises her hand to knock, hesitates, and turns to me, smiling guiltily. Hey, can you do me a favor? Of course. Can you tell the nurse that I'll see him later? I just remembered that I've got some stuff to take care of before class. So I really need to get moving. I peer at her closely and she fidgets under my stare. Yeah, she's clearly just avoiding the nurse. That leg of hers. Well, whatever. I said I'd help, and so I will. But I'll make damn sure she sees the nurse before the day's out. Yeah, okay. I'll let him know. Emi looks like I've just given her a pony on Christmas. Thank you so much. You're the best, Hisao. I'm rewarded for my complicity in her lie by a kiss that makes it all worth it. Or so I tell myself. As Emi heads out of the building, trying hard not to let her limp show, I knock on the door of the office. Ah, Hisao, come on in. I don't see Emi with you. She's not sick again, is she? From the tone of his voice, I don't think the nurse is expecting me to say, yes, she's ill. She said that she'd forgotten to do something, and so she had to skip out, but she'll see you later today. The nurse heaves an exasperated sigh. Honestly, that girl. She's been avoiding me. Yesterday she was in and out of here, hardly even taking off her prosthetics. Now this. Well, at least it's not just me Emi doesn't want worried. That's a comfort, I guess. Still, I feel like I should say something about her leg. I said I'd lie for her, but she really needs to see him. I was wondering if that was going to be a choice. I'm getting kind of like some of the things that come up. I kind of wonder if there's going to be a choice, and it concerns me. No, because I kind of get... I wonder if I'll have, like, Persona, like, relationship questions where... What I think the right answer isn't the one that progresses the relationship. Or, like, is it... I've forgotten her name already. Miko in Persona 3. And it's kind of like, I really don't want to support her running away. Like running away from home. But if you want to progress quickly, you have to, you know, be fully on board with it. And last night as well. The nurse's eyes narrowed at the words last night. And what exactly were you two doing last night? We were, on a date. Nurse raises his eyebrows as if surprised. Really? Interesting. Huh? Oh, nothing. His gaze turns thoughtful, and then he grins at me. You don't think you could use some of that boyfriend charm to come get her to... You don't think you could use some of that boyfriend charm to get her to come see me today, could you? Of course. I was planning on doing that anyway. I think she's really hurt and just pretending she isn't. Yes, she does that. Afraid I'll make her stop running. Will you? I don't like to, but if it's bad enough that she's been limping, well... I guess I'll have to see what's wrong with myself before I make that call. I see. Emi, not allowed to run? Perished thought. I don't know if she'd be able to function without running. No wonder she's reluctant to admit anything's wrong. Well, I'll make sure she sees you. Good. Oh, before I forget. He grins at me again in what feels like a vaguely threatening manner. Don't forget that I know what medications you're on. You be careful around Emi, got it? Wow. You look serious too. Kind of reminds you of that one S-Link in P3? Which S-Link? Because I kind of wondering, like, what part was it? What I was saying about Persona 3? Got it. Don't hurt Emi. Wouldn't dream of it. Grand. I'd hate for you to be late. Huh? Late. As in the late Hisao and Emi. He frowns briefly, dissatisfied. It sounded better in my head. Well, at any rate, get out of here before you miss your first class. You've got things to do, I'm sure. Shoo! As I leave, I noticed the nurse pulling out his phone and dialing a number. The guy who kept trying to run even though... Oh, yeah! I've forgotten his name. That was another one that concerned me. And also had the same issue of the good response is not the correct response. You progress the S-Link better by going, sure, you can keep running, buddy, I'll support you. Whereas actually being concerned and trying to get him to rest is kind of like, nah, that's going to slow down the S-Link. Mako, your daughter's being a pain in the ass again. I'd better head back to my room, or I really will be late. I tell them what I want to hear instead of action. Yeah. It's just leading into my kind of concern that I'm going to get a choice like that in this route. Hey, wasn't he supposed to check my heart rate? If the nurse is forgetting, you're probably fine, right? The lunch bell sounds, and I bring myself out of the stupor I slipped into during the morning's classes. My lack of sleep last night, coupled with the increased pace of this morning's run, has left me a little exhausted. Despite that, I find myself skipping stairs up to the roof. There's a thrill of excitement now, in addition to the pleasure one gets from eating lunch with one's friends. True, both Emi and Rin are still my friends, but Emi has become more than that now. Rin is back in her usual spot on the roof, almost as if she'd never been absent. Oh. Feeling better, I take it? A raised eyebrow is my reward for speaking. Better than what? Better than you felt yesterday. Rin gives my question some serious thought. I'm not sure. I think I might have felt rather good for some of yesterday, but it's all fuzzy. Don't forget, some things usually leads to death. That's oh, it's just one appointment. What's the worst that could happen? Shoujo. To be fair, like that's not too bad an English mix-up. Too much cold medicine? Well, I was asleep, and that usually is pretty good. But I can't remember what it feels like to be asleep because I'm not conscious for it. It's a real problem. Then again, if I knew how good it felt, I might not sleep anymore. But this way I keep trying, so I guess that's how I can keep from being overtired. An eternal mystery to keep you sleeping at night? Maybe mystery's the wrong word. Intangibility might be the proper way to describe it. I see. No, I don't see it at all. I have no idea what she's talking about. But that's okay, since I rarely do. Do you remember what sleeping feels like? Like yesterday. Do you remember what you felt like sleeping yesterday? Do you remember that good course thing? Get up from mine? I'd imagine so. I'd probably even imagine as well just for, like, keeping balance. Because I think, like, sometimes we don't think too much about how much we use our arms to, like, balance our center of gravity. And really, I suppose she... Yeah, I think your core would be kind of like the next part that you'd use to kind of shift your weight around. Well, I actually didn't get a lot of sleep yesterday. Maybe that's because you remember subconsciously. Actually, I think I was worrying about Emi. Doesn't Emi worry enough about herself? I hadn't considered that, but it gives me pause. True, but would she ask for help if she needed it? Rin frowns, and I raise an eyebrow. Will I get a proper answer? Probably not. Is there something she should be asking for help with? Her leg, for starters. This seems to catch Rin's interest. Leg? It's hurt, but she won't see the nurse about it. Rin shakes her head in disapproval. You have to make her. Like she makes me go to class. For her own good. Oh, okay, would Rin just be a shut-in if... To be fair, I can kind of see that, like, Rin seems apathetic enough that she wouldn't care about class if someone wasn't pushing her. Otherwise, she could lose her legs again. That's just too weird. Losing things twice. Especially if you don't find them again to begin with. Unless prosthetics are the same as finding something. But that's a different kind of lost, isn't it? I think so. I wonder. Wonder what? Emi seems to have snuck up on Rin and me, though Rin doesn't seem especially surprised, which is itself unsurprising, I suppose. Rin manages to sit herself upright quite expertly, throwing her upper body forward and using her momentum to right herself. Your leg. How's it feel? That earns me a frown and a bit of a glare. It's okay, I think. Not worth worrying about. Tell that to the nurse. He's quite insistent that you visit him, you know. Emi pouts like I've just told her she's been grounded. He worries too much. It's not a big deal, just a little soreness. I try to resist rolling my eyes in exasperation. If it's nothing, then you should have no problem seeing him, right? Emi narrows her eyes suspiciously. Did he put you up to this? Well, maybe. A little. But that's not the point. I would have reminded you to see him anyway. It would be terrible to see you really hurt and not doing anything about it. That would make it worse, and I don't really want to see you hurt, you know? Call me crazy, but I kind of would prefer to see you happy and healthy. With each statement, Emi's frown fades a little more until eventually she's grinning, albeit a little shyly. Well, if you're going to put it that way, then I guess I'll have to see him. Otherwise you'll keep worrying and then we'll never hear the end of it, right? That's right. I'll keep bugging you about it and that might put a damper on our dates. How's the food, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emi. How was your day, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emi. Hisao, I think I'm ready to go all the way. Talk to the nurse, Emi. See, it doesn't work that well. Emi giggles at my high-pitched rendition of her own voice and gives me an affectionate shove. My voice isn't that high, jerk. Okay, I didn't realize I was supposed to be doing a high-voiced. Also, I do wonder, like, has Emi... Also, I just noticed... So I was looking at the text and I just noticed Emi's expression. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, if it has Emi mentioned anything? Like, did Emi mention yesterday to Rin? I thought it was pretty accurate. Oh. Emi and I stare at Rin for a while before I burst into laughter. Emi crosses her arms and huffs, mock offended. You're both jerks. Such vile That's a word I've not seen before. Such vile calumnies from you young women. I'm stunned that you would call me, of all people, a jerk. Honestly, I don't know what to think. Emi sticks her tongue out at me. You ass. So, Rin, how's the art club these days? Rin, seemingly as surprised by this sudden change of topic as I am, takes a minute to think before answering. I believe it's okay. Although Nomiya keeps telling me to work harder. I don't think he understands my methods. He always struck me as slightly creepy. Rin ponders this statement for a while. I've never really noticed. But I don't pay attention to him most days, so maybe that's why. How often do you meet? Thinking of joining Hisao? What? I've already decided to join a club. Really? Which one? Well, it's not really much of a club, to be honest. Oh, he's going for the science club. Oh, you joined the tea club? No, I joined the science club, I think. Emi looks highly confused. We have a science club? Not really. It's just me. Hisao, that's not a club. That's sitting in a room reading books. No, I mean it's just me and Muto. I'm just the only student so far. Muto? Really? A thought strikes her. Oh, is that what you were talking about yesterday? Your meeting with Muto? Yeah, that was our first meeting, I guess. Emi giggles. Nerd. Hey, I can't help being clever. You know, I could have used your help years ago. You should have had your heart You should have had your heart attack earlier in life, Hisao. I laugh, and Didn't realize this is probably one of the very rare times I've laughed about my heart attack. Hindsight. Yeah. The ringing of the bell ends our conversation. Guess we'd better go. Yeah, I guess so. Come on, Rin. You too. Rin has apparently begun to doze off, so Emi gives her a sharp bump. I almost had it. Sorry, but you need to get to class. I disagree, but maybe if I nap in class, I'll get it this time. Changing location is sometimes helpful for that kind of thing. Neither Emi or I bother asking what it is. As we arrive at my classroom, Emi gives me a quick kiss and heads down the hallway, Rin in tow. I turn to enter the classroom to be met by the duo of Shizune and Misha. Misha seems to be fighting a losing battle to keep from breaking into a fit of giggles while she translates Shizune's latest rant. While we are pleased, nay, thrilled to see how well you've managed to make new friends and forge relationships, with such a cutie too, Hichan. I think the last part was probably Misha. We nevertheless feel compelled to politely remind you that public displays of affection are strictly forbidden. Really? That's disappointing, Shichan. By Section 8 of the Code of Conduct laid out in the Student Handbook. In this case, however, ignorance of the law may be your excuse, as we are feeling lenient. And the paperwork required to punish the both of you would only add to the already mountainous volume of work which confronts us, the sole members of the Student Council. And besides, you two are adorable together. Emi loves repeating it. Yeah. I'm guessing the others not so much. Therefore, consider this a formal warning, and please refrain from such displays in the future. At least when Shizune can see you, Hichan. This whole spiel is so patently ridiculous that I can't help but reply in the same pompous manner. Well, I for one feel enlightened. I apologize profusely for my rash actions, and will strive to contain my baser impulses, which, I fear, impel me towards such inappropriate displays of public affection. It is hardly my wish to burden an already overworked student council with such petty matters, and will do my best to make your lives easier in this matter in the future. At least when Shizune's watching. This last line is delivered with a wink to Misha, who finally loses control of her laughter. Well said, Hichan. Chuckling a little myself, we enter the classroom. Class is uneventful, and after the final bell rings, I find myself alone with Muto again. So, it looks like we've all assembled for the second meeting of the Science Club. Or is it the first? What do you think? Should we count yesterday as a meeting? Well, we did form the club yesterday, didn't we? That seems like club business, so we can safely call yesterday a meeting. Muto smiles in his usual stilted and awkward way. I wonder if the muscles in his face are just not shaped correctly to let him smile naturally. You really do have a knack for this, I think. Logical thought processes, that is. I guess so. A scientist speaks with authority, Hisao. The answer here is yes, I do. When the world wants to know how it works, we tell it. Even if all we've got is a decent hypothesis. But we must sound certain anyway, because we're the authorities on the subject, right? He chuckles to go along with his awkward smile as his awkward joke. I'm doing my best not to grimace, but I don't think I'm being too successful. Excuse me. That's entirely false, of course. We know a lot, sure, but nobody's an expert on how the world works. If only because nobody can be sure. With no certainty, there are no experts. But we like to pretend, sometimes. There's some things we can be certain of, right? Yes, but no. We know gravity's there, for example. To illustrate, Muto picks up a pencil and drops it. See? Still there. But it's good to check every once in a while. That's why you'll still see researchers mucking about with gravity. We're pretty sure we know how it works, but there's always a chance that something isn't how we think it is. So you check, and check, and check. That's science in a nutshell, Hisao. The whole time I've listened feeling rather spellbound. Muto seems to be really passionate about this stuff. I think. It's hard to tell sometimes. How the world works. How humans work. How the universe works. All these questions to be answered. And depending on what I go into, maybe I could even figure out a way to fix my heart. That said, I don't think that's a real priority for me. Besides, as we start discussing the book he gave me yesterday, I find myself more and more interested in that, my heart condition. Before we even realize it, an hour's gone by. Well, let's call this meeting over for now, okay? We'll have another meeting tomorrow, or the day after. He considers this for a moment. I call it the day after. I've got a lot of grading to do. Okay, see you then. As I exit the classroom, I realize that I don't really have anything to do tonight. Emi and I didn't make plans, so I guess I'll go to the library. It beats doing homework in my room anyway. The library always seems cooler than the rest of the building. Probably to keep the books from getting damaged by excessive heat and humidity. Books are sturdy objects, but if you want to keep them in good condition, it takes a little effort. I've got several books that are so well worn the pages are barely clinging to the spine. It seems impossible for them to still be usable, but if you handle them with care. I make my way to the main desk, where I spot Yuko busying herself with something or another. She smiles at me as I enter and waves. Hello, Hisao. Good to see you again. What are you looking for this time? We don't really love it. Well, that's probably why he went into teaching, being a science teacher. Nothing in particular, I guess. I just didn't really feel like going back to my room is all. Yuko nods. Well, if you're unoccupied, maybe you could help me look for something. Sure. What do you need? Yuko brings a finger to her lips and looks around furtively. She seems to be looking for eavesdroppers. Come closer. I take a few hesitant steps forward while feeling distinctly unnerved. Yuko lowers her voice to a confidential whisper. I'm on the trail of the Yamaku cat burglar. The what? Shh! The walls have ears, Hisao. Or they might. But listen, those missing books, remember them? Yeah? Well, they weren't missing. They were stolen. I'm convinced of it. I remember you saying something of the sort earlier, but how do you know? Yuko leans in closer and, if possible, whispers even lower. Because I found one of his hiding places. You did what? Yuko looks triumphant. Found one of his stashes. It was under one of the stairwells in the boys' dorm. 3 books I'd been looking for, all there. I'd suspected a thief before, but this proves it. So, did you take back the books? Yuko looks as if I just suggested she walk around naked. Are you nuts? He can't know I'm onto him. He might go to ground and evade capture. Huh. So what do you need my help with, then? Yuko casts another glance around the library and leans in closer. You've got to spy for me. Spy? Yeah, like when you're in the dorms, you know. Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. What constitutes suspicious anyway? Because Kenji's our neighbor. I mean, Kenji's a pretty suspicious dude, but I'll wager he barely goes to class, much less sneaks into the library to pilfer books. If you'd remember, Hisao, one of the missing books she was talking about was the same one that you helped Kenji with. Yeah. It's bad when I have better memory than a character. Still, what's the harm in saying yes? At least it'll get me out of this weird conversation. Yeah, I can do that. No problem. Hugo straightens up and claps excitedly. Great! Now, hurry up and talk about something else in case someone comes in. How's the school treating you? Pretty well, actually. I've been running in the mornings with Emi Ibarasaki, right? Yeah. How'd you know? I served you two in the tea house, remember? I deduced that if you were going to run with anyone, it would probably be her. She looks pleased with herself. Impressive. Anyway, yes, we've been running in the mornings. And, we kinda started dating. Yugo claps her hands together excitedly. Really? That's great. I bet you two are great together. I love seeing people find one another like that, you know? I even thought to myself when you walked into that Shanghai that one time. I wonder if that kid will wind up with one of those girls. Really? Yuko doesn't seem to notice my somewhat weirded out tone and nods affirmatively. Yep, I could tell that you'd wind up with one of them, you know. I've got an eye for that sort of thing. Of course, her expression drooped slightly. I'm not so good at it myself. Aw, I'm sure that's not true. Oh, it's true. I met this guy once. We got along really great, but it turned out he was younger than me. And that was kind of weird, but not terribly so. What was really weird was that he disappeared one day, and I've not seen him since then. That does seem kind of odd. Doesn't it? I hope it wasn't something I did. I feel compelled to reassure her. I'm sure it wasn't. Oh. I intend to try and calm her down further, but both of us jump in surprise at the ringing suddenly coming from my pocket. Yuko sighs to steady herself as I pull the phone from my pocket. I feel a little sheepish for indirectly causing the incident. Emi? What's up? Oh, thank God. I haven't called your phone before, so I didn't know if this number would work, or whether you would pick up, and I can't. Whoa there, Emi. Slow down. What's wrong? There's a pause on the other side of the line, during which I can hear Emi trying to control her breathing in order to calm down. Oh, something's got her terribly agitated, and it's starting to agitate me. Can you stop by? Like now? Or shortly after now? I really, really need to talk to you. There's a tone of pleading in that last sentence that I don't think I've ever heard from her. Of course, I'll be right there. Hold steady, okay? In my increasingly agitated state, I've apparently started saying things that don't quite make sense. Okay, I'll be okay. See you soon. I pressed the button to end the call before slipping the phone back into my pocket. Apologized to Yuko for running off, and run off. Perhaps at some point I would have stopped to think about the time, or how suspicious it looks for a guy to enter the girls' dorm at this hour. Except right now I'm just concerned with getting to Emi and finding out what's wrong and how I can help her. I knock on the door and I'm greeted with a subdued, "Come in." Something is very wrong as I stare at the scene before me. Emi's there, yes, but she's in a wheelchair. And her legs are missing. I glance around the room and see them sitting in a corner looking like they've been thrown there. Emi responds to my entrance with a lopsided grin that is both pleased to see me and completely, utterly heartbroken. Hi, Hisao. It looks like she's been crying, but if she was, she's stopped now. I noticed I'm a little out of breath, having taken the stairs 2 at a time in order to get here. My heart doesn't seem to mind the strain, though. I've filed this happy fact away for later consideration. Like when I'm not staring somewhat dumbstruck at my girlfriend in a wheelchair. Realizing I've still not responded to her greeting, my brain lurches into gear. Emi? What happened? Guess I should have listened to you, Hisao. My leg's got a nasty infection. I'm not allowed to run on it for at least a couple of weeks. Yeah. You have to... This is what happens when you don't nip stuff in the bud. She gives a bitter laugh that shouldn't be coming from her. I can't even walk on it. I could have used a crutch and kept one of my legs, but I didn't see the point. Why hop? I can't run on one leg. At least this way I can still, I don't know, roll fast or something. Yeah, that's good, right? My awkward attempt to look on the bright side seems appreciated, but not really effective. Emi shrugs again. It's just kind of a nuisance. I mean, we can't even eat up on the roof now. No wheelchair access. Yeah, but that's not a big deal, right? I mean, we can still eat together. That's the important thing. That lopsided grin again. It hurts to look at. I suppose so, yeah. But like I said, it's a nuisance. I mean, I haven't really used a wheelchair in... She thinks for a minute. Maybe 7 years? Something like that, anyway. A long time. I'm afraid I'm a bit out of practice. Well, fortunately it's only temporary, right? Emi nods. Oh, yeah, of course. It's not like I've lost him permanently. But it's a pain in the ass all the same. I nod sympathetically. There's not much else I can do after all. What am I gonna do? Say I told you so? Although I did tell her to get that leg looked at. But by the time I noticed, it was too late anyway. Yeah. Yesterday would have been too late. Do you need help with anything? Or, that is, can I help with anything? Emi shakes her head, and there's a bit of her usual grin back. I can manage fine by myself. Although, if you want to help me over to my bed, it would save me the trouble of rolling over there myself. I blush in spite of myself. Emi giggles. Such a prude, Hisao. I'm not a prude, just wouldn't want to take advantage of a young woman such as yourself. It's ungentlemanly. I wheel Emi's chair to her bed and easily scoop her up and deposit her there. She quickly sorts herself out and sits on the side. She's actually a little heavier than she looks. It would be rude of me to observe this aloud, of course. Humans are heavy. So, that's what it's taken me. Well, like several. Yeah, being a 4 months I've been going to the gym now, and I'm like the weights I'm doing are like just barely kind of in like what a very small adult would weigh. Wait, did you not just say you were... Oh, don't turn on skip mode. How do I turn skip mode off? Still have torso weight, it's some of her legs gone. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I imagine it is just the... I imagine as well, like, given that she, like, how often and how much she runs, that she probably, in what she does have of her legs, is probably quite a bit of, like, probably quite a bit of muscle And what's left of her legs? Didn't you just say you were? Yeah, it would be rude. Yeah, you just said you weren't going to. You're kind of heavy. Yep. Emi hits me for a pillow. Ass. Just saying is all. Must be all that running. At the mention of running, Emi's grin falters slightly. Well, I guess I won't have to worry about that for a bit, huh? Maybe I'll lose some weight. This is the scene. That's what you do to lose weight, right? Cease physical activity? I'm pretty sure that's what the nurse would recommend. Speaking of which, are you still going to be showing up in the mornings? I'd hate to run alone. Ah, shit. Any sudden interjection, more disquieted muttering than anything too profane, causes me to look over in shock. She's leaning forward, trying to cover the fact that she's crying by covering her eyes with her hand. Of course, the subdued sobbing makes it pretty obvious that she's crying. Hey, I'm sorry. Forget I said anything, okay? I place a hand gingerly around her and pull her close. I can think of nothing else to say or do. How do you comfort someone who's just lost their legs again? Emi wraps me in a hug and stays that way for a while. Sorry. I'm pretty bad at this whole comforting thing, I guess. Don't say that. It's fine. I'm fine, really. Her voice is slightly muffled by my chest. I pat her head reassuringly. That's the spirit, right? You'll get through this fine, I know it. Besides, I'm here to help you, remember? Emi lifts her head and stares at me with tear-stained eyes. Can you? Can you really? She's grinning lopsidedly, and something sparkles in her gaze. I can't tell if I'm being mocked or not. Oh, of course, I mean, sure, you're a bit heavy, but... My witty comment is cut off by the sudden press of Emi's lips on mine. I'm caught off guard, and I'm rewarded by hitting my head on the wall behind her. Oh. Ow! Emi pulls back, trying to look concerned rather than like she's about to laugh. Are you okay? Sorry. I rub my head ruefully and grin back at her. Caught me off guard there. Is that going to become a habit? Am I going to be lectured by Shizune and Misha more? At the mention of the duo, Emi giggles. Honestly, those two. If I didn't know why, I'd be utterly confused as to why she hangs around with someone so bossy. Which one are we talking about? You know exactly which one, Hisao. He's just hardly bossy. So what's the reason then? Huh? No reason why Misha hangs around Shizune? Emi waves my question off with a smile. No idea. I see. Anyway, you seem to be forgetting the original question, don't you? Oh yeah, I guess I am. You wouldn't mind giving a guy a little warning, would you? Otherwise I'm liable to wind up with a concussion. I emphasize the point by rubbing the back of my head. Emi giggles madly. You could wear a helmet. Some kids here do, you know. Or I could just take revenge. I grab a pillow from beside me and whack me with it. Oh, that is... Emi topples off the bed and lands on the floor with a thump. Her arms promptly reappear on the bed and she manages to pull herself back up. She really has a surprising amount of strength in that little body. Oh boy. Her face is turned downwards and away from mine, making me think I might have accidentally hurt her. Emi, you okay? You didn't hit your... A hand shoots up and grabs my collar. She pulls me with a sharp tug, her face now barely an inch away from mine as she grins cheekily. Emi? She gives me a sharp headbutt, our foreheads making quite a loud thud. Oof. I sit back and rub my now sore head as Emi smirks victoriously. How's that for revenge? No fair. I'll take revenge for revenge. Someone missing most of her legs, Emi's surprisingly agile. I swipe at her, but she definitely rolls out of the way and lands a hit with her pillow. Of course, the odds are against her. I can stand up, for starters. Oof. Oh. Okay, can I guess that is censorship right there? Okay, yeah, I thought so. The sunlight breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my consciousness, and I find myself blushing. That was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. The walk back, as I recall, had been rather tense. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into on my way back was Kenji, and he didn't notice a thing. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd asked how tonight went and whether or not I'd learned anything of importance. I don't even know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I'll admit that I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Emi had promised to meet me at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. She is indeed waiting for me when I arrive, doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Emi frowns and shakes her head. Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept, Hisao? All tuckered out? Well, at least she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. Is that iron bold? All that cardiovascular activity last night? I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Emi laughs out loud, and her face suddenly becomes concerned. Hey, that's not a... I mean, you're not... Go on, spit it out. It's just that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were... Oh. Now that she mentions it, it really is a legitimate concern. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night, of course. Other, more pressing concerns had been at hand. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more restrained than these morning runs, and I handled those fine, so... Emi considers this point. The expression... A devious light appears in her eyes. Say... The light vanishes, and Emi grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves. What do you need gloves for? Emi indicates the chair upon which she is seated. For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is all well and good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want speeding along in a wheelchair. So I wonder if Emi had ever been given the opportunity of suggested maybe wheelchair racing instead of running. So what? Are you whistling out at me then? Do I have to go it alone? Emi thinks for a minute, or pretends to think. If I remember right, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed. So she does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform? That Diva's expression is always used when she's legitimately... Okay. So, getting... Sorry, getting mixed signals here. I'd have expected her to wear a gym outfit for something like this. Oh, wait, what are they doing there? Emi looks askance at me. Seriously? You can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves. Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Oh, she's been snarky until we realized through text that she was pissed off. Oh. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh? I guess I can let it slide this time. Now, come on. I'll need your help. You wait was a clue. I can't imagine what for, but then again, I didn't have a clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Emi navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kinda cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it will be easier for me than for her. The door opens and Emi starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. It seems the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She makes a few runs at it, unsuccessfully, before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object. Stupid wheelchair. Hisao, can you give me a hand here? Sure, no problem. It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Emi over the doorway, jostling her slightly. Easy there. Oops, sorry. Oh, it's about this time that I fail to notice where I'm going and run Emi's chair into a mat. Whoa! She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emi glares at me. Hisao. Yes? Promise me you'll never work at a hospital. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emi giggles and holds up a hand. Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hisao? As I bend down to pick up Emi, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the chair. Oh. Oh, sorry, I went ahead and read that before I read it. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out the door, which, startled by the passage, swings shut. Oh, that didn't take long. Was that 2 scenes in as many minutes? Knock, knock. Who's there? Knock, knock. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock, knock. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? Okay, we're back in our... Okay, this is one thing with censored visual novels. Just completely cutting out of the scene. Sometimes I'm very lost. It's like, am I supposed to know why we're back in the room? Like, I know it's a lot more extra effort to like do different artwork or something and rewrite scenes. Or like write extra scenes to kind of explain what's going on. I'm suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. I guess I ought to answer the door. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Straight up station. Yeah, that is one of the other things as well, but yeah, I don't know what way around it is, but it's still kind of it kind of gives me like the sensation like blacking out and suddenly waking up somewhere else, and I'm kind of like, okay, where am I? What's going on? What happened? No, because all I can guess is after their moment in the shed, they felt tired, and or I suppose he went back. They probably did. Maybe did they go to the nurse? Because I imagine the nurse would probably have tried to like check in on them if neither of them showed up for their usual checkup. But then after the nurse, when Hisao went back for his shower, he maybe like decided to have a lie down and ended up falling asleep. That's my guess. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Ibaraki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you're unconscious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you or something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt that she's brought down anyone at all. And Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know. We're friends? I have no idea. And then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. Oh. Is Kenji's route one you've seen, Mooney, I wonder? I was just kind of like looking at the achievements for Katawa Shoujo, and there is one that says like reach like Kenji's good ending? Or is it Kenji's neutral ending? But there is a Kenji ending. I'm wondering if that's one you've seen, or is it one if it's one you're planning on seeing? Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I was saving it for last. I hold out my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You've got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. I think it is important, Kenji. I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. It's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days, and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of my desk drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to, do that for you. If you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man, great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Oh, hiccups. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to my bed. I guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today. And I did want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. I'm sure he'll understand. This time the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Who's there? Me. Aren't you glad? Oh boy, I hope Kenji's not about. The voice is muffled through the doors, but unmistakably Emi's. I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. Emi grins back, staring up at me from her wheelchair. Yeah, you would have seen me earlier, but the damned elevator wasn't working. I had to wait for them to fix it. You'd think they could keep it in better order, but no. I'd chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her. That is a valid complaint, though. Like, it's bad enough, like, in normal accommodation if, like, they don't have wheelchair access. But you'd think in a school... For a school for the disabled, like the official dormitories, they would be like on top of making sure that the accommodation is accessible. Do I imagine they probably would also prioritize ground floor rooms for people with mobility issues? But still, keeping your wheelchair access in good order would be pretty important. She wheels in easily, and with my help she hops onto my bed. There, much more comfortable in that stupid chair. A sigh of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute we both just stare at one another. It's at that point that I noticed circles under Emi's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I can ask about them, Emi fixes me with a mischievous stare. So, I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened, Fell asleep. I actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me up. What had you so tired, A strenuous workout this morning. Slightly uncomfortable, too. Emi coughs, a half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise. Remind me not to do that again. No problem. It wasn't exactly great for me either, to be honest. We'll just avoid that from now on. Are you, still sore? Emi stares at me in disbelief. What? It's a legitimate question. Of all the questions I never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them. Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it, so we're even. Emi laughs at this. I guess so, huh? Well, since you ask, yes, I'm still a little sore. We're never doing that again. No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her, and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? Emi nods sleepily. I haven't slept well. Not sleeping well? Then there was that. Oh. Okay, they're certainly rushing things. I can tell that she didn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start like she's just been caught lying and hastens to add. It's not a big deal, though. Yeah, they started going out 2 days ago. That is, that certainly feels like rushing to me. What's the trouble? Emi shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams? Another shrug, but after a pause, Emi nods hesitantly. Yeah, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by. She begins to look more and more miserable. I mean, that's something you'd say after their first scene. What to say? I mean, yeah, the first scene was rushing it as well, but it's kind of just clicking with me that things are moving very quickly. Not so you'd notice, of course, but Her eyes are on her lap. She's fidgeting and her voice is quiet. We need to stop hanging out so much. Huh? Why? Emi takes a deep breath like she's been practicing this. Because you're too much fun to be around. I can't concentrate when you're near me. With exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise, my grades will be pretty lousy, I'm afraid. I could help you study. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? I mean, even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kind of just want to, not converse. Ah. Overwhelmed by my rugged manliness. I understand. That earns me a grin, at least. Emi shakes her head. Idiot. You're full of yourself. Well, I am pretty irresistible. Yeah, more or less, I guess. Your voice is getting way too soft when voices... Is it? Maybe I'm not... Strange. Okay, soft as in I'm getting too quiet. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to... Oh, I'm not... I need to get better at consistency when I'm doing voices for anyone. So that's the situation, Hisao. I have too much fun around you. If I'm going to go into exams prepared, I need to be alone. Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple of weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings, and at lunch. We can just hang out at school, no problem. And after exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate their being over, okay? Emi grins, pleased by this proposal. Yeah, sure. That sounds great. As if to signal the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. Oh, okay. It's weird how easily Emi and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we'd come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We'd both been pretty bummed after that last night together. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs. And just our runs, I might add. Lunch too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school. Whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emi wants to make up for her foolery in the storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll. Even though they haven't even started. This is just a run-up, the deep breath before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out on the other side okay. Muto thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or as he says, the last thing that should give you any trouble is my exam, Hisao. It's way beneath your talents. And then again, it is Muto who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect from me would be a disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over. Some formulas of velocity, a few bits about friction. A walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated. Then off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emi plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject. Or distracts me through other means. Like a few days ago at lunch when Rin wasn't around. I've done it! I'm startled from my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Yep. Excuse me, I need to cough. Oh boy. Yuko seems mortified at my sudden starting. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I just got... and I really wasn't... It's just that... As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey. My words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. Sorry. Oh. Okay, hopefully that's better. And it's a library, and I shouldn't be... Easy there, just calm down. I'm really setting a bad example, and now I'll get fired because I can't do anything right. Yuko! Shouting seems to work, though I draw the ire of several other students that study in the library. Yuko snaps her attention like a soldier who's just heard the captain bark an order. Sorry. Calm down. It's okay. You just startled me a little, and that's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little, though she keeps shifting around with nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So, what's got you so excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar! To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity. So I did some spying, and I think the tipster was right. Oh, really? And who was this, burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively. No, I can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I'm onto his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. Then I'm left with no perp. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn him. Why would I care? If you've got to ask that question, then you don't need to know. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess. Thanks. What for? The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for exams? Well, that was the plan. I'm not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. It's not that. I've got my book right here. To illustrate the point, and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering is all. Is it because of noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... hell, I don't know. Worried about Emi. Worried about us. Worried about what happens after we graduate. Emi's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Well, you know how we're dating now. I just don't know that we're actually, a couple. Or at least, I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do the sort of things we do. Physically, we're a couple. coupling at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her, or about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. Yeah, that question. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realized what I'm about to start describing and wisely decided to clam up. She what? She changed the subject. Wouldn't talk about it. Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her. Or she just doesn't think it needs explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's been bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. You go digest this bit of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. Is that really what's going on? I mean... Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice, you barely know me. I'm just a librarian and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Yugo seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Look, I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her. Get some time alone and just talk about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice, and talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. But that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after exams are over. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress is past. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Yeah, I feel it probably is a good idea to wait till after the exams, just to... Because that's a conversation that could bring up a lot of emotions. And if exams are right around the corner, maybe you want... Maybe there's enough on everyone's plate. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. Another day. I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. As I'd hoped, the exams weren't so bad. I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. And even that was acceptable. I wonder how Emi did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she was so exhausted. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt that it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, Hisao? Got a minute? I don't... I kind of want to, like, we seem to get along with Muto, so I kind of want to go, sure, I can spare a few minutes, but... I am worried about Emi. I don't like this choice. But I'm also kind of intrigued about... I did save. Yeah, there we go. This is important. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about, like, how... Like, is it a case where, like, a few minutes turns into hours? Or, like, what could happen in those few minutes that changes... I don't know. I don't know. I know if this was me, I'd probably, like, I've got a minute. I am not great, partly because I'm not great at saying no to people, but also, like, we get along with Muto, it's kind of... but I don't like this choice. It feels like so disconnected from things. I'm not sure what the right one is, but I feel Emi needs to be where the focus is. Hopefully I won't regret that. Actually, I've got something I need to do. Yeah? Oh well. I wanted to get some feedback on the Science Club from you, but we can do that later, I guess. Enjoy your break, you hear? Oh, did I make a bad choice? Oh, oh well, here we go. What pain I am for. Thanks, I will. I'd really love to chat with Muto, but I've got other things on my mind. Specifically, what to do about Emi. You'll find out. Your O concerns me. Can I really just confront her? The question keeps spinning in my head even after I made my way back to my... Okay, so we could have stayed for chat, I think. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't that come off as clingy? Could be a good ode. I don't know. It just feels like it. I don't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would it be so bad to just let it go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company. But odd as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't even know what with, or if there's anything at all she needs help for. But I want to. Suddenly, a knock at my door rouses me. Oh, hi Kenji. You're not dead. I opened to see Kenji. Oh, it's you. It's me! That's it! If you had any idea what I'd been through, what I'd done, you'd be happy to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. And here you are, here you're just acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, Hisao. I really respect that. Thanks, I guess. It's smart to play it safe, you know. Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards, or you have bad cards. Then you should fold or collect your winnings. You understand? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it the mission went well? Well, awfully nosy of you, isn't it? You can't just go saying things like that. Things are at a delicate stage. One wrong move and bam! The invasion succeeds! I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open. It's bigger than I thought. I need to update my charts. Probably change some of the puppets around. Puppets? You want to help? I've got some whiskey from somewhere. You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up. Better not. I'm, supposed to meet her today. Gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicion. Kenji nods in approval. Still keeping it close to the chest, eh? Okay, man. I respect that. Good luck. Thanks. I'm just going to pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he's wishing me luck in talking to Emi. And if I squint, the whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can't get Emi to do so, or other. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head for Emi's room. I hop up the stairs leading to her room and knock on her door. Who's there? Oh, that's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. Thought I'd stop by. Hisao? Come on in. I reach down to open the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked. Oh, yeah, sorry. Give me a minute. In a few minutes, Emi opens the door, grinning. Sorry, I had to put my legs on. I was napping. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emi's eyes are slightly red and looks like she's been crying. Hey, no problem. Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just you look like you've been crying. Oh yeah, Hisao, you're off to a great start on this one. What? I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you. She punctuates this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us. I know what she wants to do now, and I'm also painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too, but I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait. Emi's eyes crinkle in confusion. Huh? Wait for what? We need to talk. Isn't that supposed to be my line? Never a good thing to say. She's got a point. It's usually the lead into a breakup, or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it can be a good thing this time. That's the hope, anyway. Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things, and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running put such a strain on them. Can't argue with that. It's a trap. We both know it, and we both don't care. Then again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the object of your affection, so maybe there's that motivation too. Music does not give me confidence. I set Emi's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time of it lately. I want to help you out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying and that kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it. I told you, I'm fine. No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you. You can tell me, you know? There's the slightest increase in tension in Emi's voice. Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough? This scene happens regardless. Okay, but... yeah, but then what difference does that conversation with Muto make? Now I feel I'm kind of... I've made the wrong choice, given that we just kind of... I suppose maybe if we had had the conversation, we wouldn't have bumped into Kenji on the way back, and we wouldn't have got that extra little bit of... I have no clue. I don't want to have made the wrong decision. You're concerned. I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine, and it's nothing that you need to worry about. Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine. I want to help. Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong because Emi fixes me with an icy stare. So you want to fix me, Hisao? She's definitely getting angry now. Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains. Restore what's lost. Her voice catches in her throat and the tears start to flow. Hell, you can't. Nobody can. Nobody will. That's just the first import. Oh, okay. Oh boy. I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm surprised that Emi tightens her grip on me rather than pushing me away. After a deep breath, she starts talking again. Look, I'm sorry. It's these nightmares. About the accident. The accident. I should have known. It took her legs after all, but it never comes up, of course. And I usually deal with them fine because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forwards, you know? Nothing else matters, just getting around the next curve. And then it's the next curve. And the next, and the next. Until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet. Today it just kind of boiled over a little. You could have talked to me about it, you know? You didn't have to go it alone. Emi smiled sadly, like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns. Yeah, I did. And I do. But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. Emi leans in and kisses me on my cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth close to my ear as she confesses this one thing to me. Because Hisao already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again. She pauses, as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I can feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues. So I can't rely on you, or the nurse, or anyone else. Just me. That's how it's got to be. Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. I search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go. For now. I've got stuff. Is this a point? I don't know if this is a point to leave. Emi doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which. Okay, Hisao. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Hey, Emi? Yeah? 1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out from me. What happened in that accident? I know she lost her legs, but that's never seemed to bother her. What happened there? What scares a girl so badly that she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? I don't know. I want to know. I want to know what so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my guts. Hisao? You were saying? I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door and walking down the hallway, down the stairs, out the door, into the dark. Somehow I wander back to my own room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. Can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change. Living in the present and looking at the future. After this thing with Emi, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind, no care for the spectators on the sidelines, and unfortunately, no time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling as if the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something. But have I not been doing the same thing? Trying my best to forget about my hospitalization? I am getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emi has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with, but those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as both of us can get. The room becomes darker and darker, until I can't really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore. The morning comes too soon, on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emi's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case. That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually. Almost like she were teasing me or chastising me for suggesting that the earth is flat. That's how it's got to be. The way it's got to be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I very nearly decide to skip the run. That would be stupid, though. It's not something I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I've started to enjoy the running itself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing anyway. Never thought I'd say it after the first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like, no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. It wakes me up, too, and Emi herself said that running always clears her mind. Maybe it'll help clear mine. I hope so. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems. Emi's already stretching out when I arrive, and greets me with a smile and a wave. Hey, Hisao! The sight of her so chipper is like a kick in the nuts. How can she be so happy after yesterday? Is she just pushing it down and bottling it up? I give a half wave and am surprised to receive a hug. Hey, about last night? Here it comes. I wanted to say thanks. I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. My light is flickering a little bit. There we go. So, thanks. How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me that she wouldn't get any closer to me. And that let her sleep well? Excuse me, but what the hell? Emi either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled for now, but I think I'd better start running now, before I do anything stupid. Emi seems equally willing to get started, and before long we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's a stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past few days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. Pity it couldn't help me. Is that maybe what he sounds making her? Is my mic fading in and out? It shouldn't be. I can't see anything going wrong. Maybe I'll just move it a little closer to me. I get into the rhythm of the running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. I guess those days are gone, at least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace. There's the burning sensation in my legs. The breath's coming ragged in my chest, the pounding of my heart, which I still need to be careful about. But it does seem to have gotten stronger. I can feel it pumping blood through my veins. The sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, I'm instead filled with elation. Sounds loud and clear one moment, then gets really quiet. Maybe it was just me, like, not noticing I was changing my volume. Hopefully with it being a bit close to my mouth now, that'll stay a little more consistent. Yes, it's working. My heart, that fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm able to keep going now, and maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying as much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emi and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. Part of me is worried that this is going to lead to Hisao pushing himself too much. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help, though not as much as I'd hoped. I do feel better, and as I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emi wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's got to be a way around this, some kind of middle ground I can reach. Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was almost feeling optimistic. Nice run, Hisao. You've really improved. Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hisao. You're pathetic. I gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet I just keep saying things that I don't mean. Any second now I'll be as good at hiding my problems as Emi is. I like to think so. Why does she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought because Emi peers closely at me. Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh? Yeah, I'd hate to keel over on you. Emi looks a little shocked at my bitter tone. Don't say things like that. You've already done it once before, you know. Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. I thought she made that clear. But despite all of that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emi does something or says something that shows affection and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emi and I could be more than what we are. What are we at this point? And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. I said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up with her. I was just going to hop on in there and let it ride, wasn't I? With this running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emi. Emi comes bounding out of the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office to give me the ritual once-over. Any problems today? Nah, I even pushed a little harder today than I have in the past, and I seemed able to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hisao. You've been hanging out with Emi too much. She's rubbed off on you, not necessarily in a good way. At the mention of Emi's name, I can't help but frown unhappily in spite of my efforts to control. Well now, this is new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response to Emi's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? because Emi doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of year. What do you mean by that? By what? For this time of year? I keep trying to find out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. Then last night she said, "Let me guess. She won't tell you because she says she can't trust you. And now you're crushed because you thought that the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right?" The guy just knows exactly what's going on. More or less? How the heck did you know? Hisao, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. Plus, I've known Emi for long enough to know that she'd try to do something like this. It's just like her. He says this in a sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips. As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. I open my mouth to respond, but a knocking sound at the door interrupts me. Hey, you guys still in there? Just a moment, Emi. Give us a second to get our pants back on. The door bursts open and Emi glares knives at the nurse. Asshole! Didn't mean to get your hopes up. Hey, can we leave me out of this? Anyway, what's up, Emi? Forget something? I tried to take a more cheerful tone with her. No need to upset her. Two can play everything's fine. That feels like... Two can play it, I don't think two should. Actually, I forgot to ask you something. Oh? What's that? Do you want to come with me on a trip to my house? My mum's making dinner and I thought you might want to join us. Well, of course I accept. Emi punches the nurse in the arm playfully. That's you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to Hisao. Oh, how interesting. Meeting the parent. I'd love to go, Emi. Thanks. The nurse raises an eyebrow, but says nothing. Great, I'll be in my room. Swing by after you shower and change into something clean and we'll grab the bus. Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting off to my room. We're not going to hear the rest of the explanation when the nurse was about to tell us. Give us more information on things. What an interesting development. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emi's finally ready to open up a little. Or maybe she's just being polite and a free meal seems like a good way to apologize for last night. Great. Now I can't decide whether to be anxious, nervous, or depressed. I settle for a combination of all three and hop into shower. Oh, and we're just going to the next day. Oh. Okay, never mind. It is... Normally that transition marks like a day passing. I don't think I like riding on buses. Actually, I'm pretty comfortable saying that as a fact. They sway a lot and they smell funny and you can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emi's legs keep making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus. She's in shorts again, and she's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetic, so they don't look so obviously false again. But that doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat, and Emi raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares. Either that, or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she'd notice anymore. Not that she'd ever tell me if I asked. Another fact is, I'm not just uncomfortable about the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emi appears to be trying to bring me closer while at the same time pushing me away. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emi's mother, but that was just as an acquaintance. Now it's going to be as Emi's boyfriend, with everything that implies. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest. An echo of that snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I'll be able to live normally now. Or at least as normally as possible. Now, if only I could manage my relationship as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape. Meeting the parents is indeed a big deal. No, well, that's a step you that's a step you've passed, Minnie. Well, we're here. Emi grabs my hand as soon as we've stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately. Come on, we've got a couple blocks until my place. What? Oh, okay. But to be fair, I'd appreciate that. Like a bit of a walk after a bus ride. I follow Emi down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mum do this sort of thing often? Not too frequently. Mum's never been much for playing hostess. Oh yeah? Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over. This sudden and unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard. And from the look on Emi's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. All I remember is that Emi's mum told me that he wasn't around anymore. Oh? Your mum prefers solitude? Emi laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her father, or from finding my statement actually funny. Not at all. He's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know. She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful that way, or so she says. Clearly she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emi giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone. Nervous, Hisao? You shouldn't be, you know. It's not that big a deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all. Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before? I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emi's past relationships. I don't even know if there were past relationships. No, I guess I haven't. Hey, maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all. Oh good, now I feel twice as nervous. Though, to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one. Maybe we've got something special after all. Bolstered by this new thought, I've managed to calm down considerably by the time Emi knocks on her front door. Hey Mom, open up, we're here! The door swings open and Mrs. Ibarazaki stands grinning at her daughter. The grin is still surprisingly similar to Emi's. I'm never going to get used to that. You know, people normally wait a few minutes before they start shouting at the door. And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away. Of course. Welcome home, dear. I've missed you. An affectionate hug later, we're inside. And it's only then that Emi's mum seems to remember that I'm actually here. And hello to you too, Hisao. How are you? I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit. Ah, yes, you've finished up your exams, haven't you? That must be quite a relief for you both. It's certainly a weight off my mind, that's for sure. Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks last night from relief alone. If this news is a surprise to Emi's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest. Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emi. You know I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams. Certainly Emi's mother knows something I don't. Or rather, she doesn't know that Emi's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting, being able to observe how Mrs. Ibarazaki covers for Emi. That protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emi's willing to tell me. I wonder if Mrs. Ibarazaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything secret from everybody? Yeah, it's not been as bad this year as in the past. Hisao helped me stay focused. Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But She did see me during the day, and she told me more than once that the morning run was the only thing she looked forward to during exams, so maybe it's not that much of a lie. Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel better. Emi's mother raises an eyebrow at this statement. Either she doesn't believe Emi, or she's as surprised as I am. Well then. Well, then it appears that... Oh, I didn't mean to click. It appears that it's a good thing you two have become so close. I tell you to take good care of my daughter, Hisao, but it looks like you're already doing that. Emi grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to ingratiate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's gotten me out and running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was. Even before... I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor had I ever appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pick-up games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. I chuckled quietly, then realized I never finished my sentence. Oh, well, before I had my heart attack and wound up at school here. It comes out so casually. There was a time that I would have thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now it just seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emi and her mother. If Emi can be cavalier about her disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet where Emi declared herself to be the fastest thing on no legs. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in a wheelchair frustrated her, I know, but even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary. Emi has a way of bringing out the more active side in people. I've never quite figured out how she does it. Those puppy dog eyes she gets, for starters. I'm not surprised that she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. If Rin weren't just as stubborn as she is, I'm sure that Emi would have gotten her out of running with you too. Oh, that reminds me. Rin says hello. I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emi's mum has produced is impressive. Oh, made enough to feed an army in here. Is it too much? You can always take some leftovers with you when you go. That sounds great. I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home cooked would be a welcome change of pace. What he said. Thanks, Mum. The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we all dig in. Emi assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set a pretty fast pace myself. So, Hisao, I hear that you and my daughter here have gotten rather close, hmm? The urge to say something like, not really, is so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert control. We are close. There's no getting around it. I mean, Emi's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emi and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard rather than considering saying something cruel. I suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself. You make it sound like a bad thing, Hisao. Well, I for one found it a relief. Why's that? Emi's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends. This is a bit of news to me. I've always seen Emi chatting with her classmates in hallways. And certainly the whole track team seems to love her, but it is true that she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Rin and me. Not exactly the sort of behaviour one expects from a popular girl, after all. And then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say I'm that surprised. I was beginning to have my doubts. Emi rolls her eyes to the ceiling and grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh? What? What's that you just said? Nothing. Mrs. Ibarazaki chokes on her drink with laughter. You've been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emi. I'm going to have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter. Somehow, I don't think that would be very effective. Oh boy. That is throwing you under the bus. Look. learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. Oh. Don't listen to her, Hisao. She's a born liar. You're right. Oh, I don't know, Emi. I think your mother has a point. But, you traitor! You're supposed to take my side in this! Yeah, but you did lie to about your leg after me. Ow! A kick into shins from an unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off. But not before Mrs. Ibarazaki's eyebrows shoot upwards. What about your leg? It wasn't a big deal, that's all. I was just in a wheelchair for a bit. The last few mumbled words are quickly deciphered by Emi's mother. I suspect she has experience of this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face. So that's why he kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emi, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately. Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak. Of course. She spent enough time in a chair just after the accident. She didn't get prosthetics immediately? Yeah. You can't just go straight onto them. They take time. No, she had to finish healing up before they'd let her start the sort of therapy you've got to go through to adjust to those things. Especially since you wanted to run on them. I had no idea. Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Rin's mural at the festival? Emi's sudden change of topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident. Even around her mother. I'm beginning to feel like during the accident, or like something happened between Emi and her dad. Like I can only assume her dad died in the accident. I'm just like I have like bits and pieces like there's not enough pieces of the puzzle to figure out what's happened. Good speculation. Yeah, that's all it is at the moment, though. Speculation. I do not have clues. Not enough. No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet. It seemed pretty weird to me. I think that's more or less what she was going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike. Rin's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. That's not surprising. I don't think Rin expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff they wouldn't understand otherwise, but all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way. I'm surprised that Emi's talked about this with Rin extensively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expect that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emi's. Unless, of course, Emi is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation. Hey Emi, I've been meaning to ask. Huh? Oh. Are you going to visit your father this year? From the way she says it, you'd think Emi's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emi reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's just been slapped in the face. Okay. I feel this is either talking about a grave visit, or her dad is permanently hospitalized, like in a coma or something. It just doesn't sound like this definitely doesn't seem like they've just separated. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards, as if she's just been slapped in the face. Can we talk about this later? Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Mrs. Ibarazaki misjudged just how close Emi and I are. Some things, it seems, are best not conversed about with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things. If her reaction to the earlier conversation between her mother and myself is any indication, I feel the reason those two things are things she's uncomfortable talking about is because they're related. It doesn't take Emi's mother long to realize she's screwed up. Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask so I can make plans. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Emi fidgets nervously, as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today, less than a few hours ago even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as she thought, or claimed. I'll, be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room. Emi gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Ibarazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her, or should I stay here? I feel if she's saying she needs to use the bathroom, you just let her go. Maybe if she seems to be there by a suspiciously long time, you start getting worried, but no. Either she genuinely does need it, or maybe she just needs a bit of time for herself. It's obvious that Emi's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. The only way to find out is to go to the source, and the source is currently pretending that she has to use the toilet. Okay, this isn't even a choice. I excuse myself politely from the table and head that way, only to catch sight of Emi not in the bathroom, but in the kitchen just next to the living room. Emi's left the door open, and as I approach, I can see that she's holding onto the table in an attempt to compose herself. An effort that fails as soon as I open my mouth. Doesn't look like nature's call was that urgent. Emi jumps and glares at me. What are you doing here? I didn't come here to be with our people. I just wanted to help you. You looked pretty rattled. I said it was nothing, didn't I? And besides, I thought we'd established that you can't help me. No, we've established that you're stubborn. Look who's talking. The guy who followed me. This is different. I want to help you with whatever this is. Yeah, I feel this is good. This could get uncomfortable. Funny, because I just want you to leave me alone. But why? Why can't you just trust me? We've been over this already, Hisao. I've got to deal with this stuff on my own. Hisao. I won't accept that. You need my help. You just won't take it. My wording, yeah, it was a bit. My wording seems to have been a little off. Need? I need your help? Well, it's a good thing we met, isn't it? Because otherwise, I guess I'd just be a broken human being, wouldn't I? Yeah. No, it's a damn good thing that Hisao came along to save the day, isn't it? Because God knows I can't save myself, can I? I'm just a poor, emotionally damaged girl with no legs, right? Emi, you know I don't think that. Really? Because if you thought differently, then I don't think you'd be here saying I need your help. I've gotten pretty far in life as a normal human being without you. So what? Nothing we've shared was important? I'm just a guy who hangs out with you? You're my boyfriend, Hisao, not my savior. Well, no. That much is obvious. You won't even consider that I could be a help to you, will you? You'll just bottle it all up and hope that a run will solve your problems. Or you'll come visit me and we'll fool around until you feel better. That's not being a healthy human being, Emi. That's not what a relationship means. Well, it's what it means to me right now, Hisao. Oh, wrong button. I wish... She seems to reconsider her words just then. A flicker of pain, of doubt on her face. For a moment, I think she's about to cry. But a moment passes, and now she's composed herself again. Whatever that wish was will have to go unspoken. Look, I can't do this right now. What, have a serious conversation? Be open? Be honest? Give a damn about anyone besides yourself and your problems? So, I feel there's a lack of tact you're taking right now. What do you know about my problems? Nothing. You don't know what I've been through, so don't pretend that you do. I know you have nightmares, and I know your father's gone. What happened to him? Emi's head jerks backwards as if I just slapped her. That brittle quality has gotten back into her voice. That's enough. This is stupid. This whole conversation has just been variations on Emi stonewalling me. Hisao, you're... What, you won't even answer that question? Fine, keep your secrets. They can lie on the grave as far as I'm concerned. Why would you... Why did my decision... Last decision I made was just whether or not to chat with... How does having to... What happens in that conversation with Muto that makes such a difference? Emi's eyes widen in shock. When she speaks again, it's in a voice that is low, dangerous. Get out of my house, Hisao. That sudden change in her tone snaps me out of my self-righteous anger and makes me realize with a dawning horror what I've just said. Emi, I didn't mean... I said go, Hisao. Tell my mother that she cooked a wonderful meal, but you've forgotten a prior arrangement, and get out of my house. She's trembling now, shaking with anger, or sadness, or determination. Her voice is still low, controlled, almost a growl. I reach out to put an arm on her shoulder to apologize for going too far, but she jerks away from my touch. Get out! I won't say, best just keep moving forward and say, you think I can... It's gonna take some work. What can I do? I walk out of the kitchen and go to the living room, make my apology to Mrs. Ibarazaki and let myself out. Don't like that. The morning alarm sounds and I roll over, switching it off. My eyes open blearily to stare at the ceiling. So you don't say it's precarious. What am I going to do? Do I get out of bed, go down to the track and pretend that nothing happened? Will Emi even show up? After last evening's events, I doubt it. Even supposing that she did, what would I do then? Get over this fight just to dance the same routine the next time something's bothering her? I know that I spoke hastily last evening, especially trying to use her father's leverage. But was anything I said really off the mark? She won't let me in, ever, and she'll be forced to suffer alone. Nothing I do, nothing I say is going to change that. She won't change, and she's already decided to keep me at arm's length. Can I really bring myself to go down there and see her, knowing that I'm never going to get past where I am now? Oh. No, I decide. I really can't. Not today. I roll over and go back to sleep. She probably won't be there anyway. A similar mental conversation repeats itself when it comes time to go to lunch, and I eat in the cafeteria, alone. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. Is that referring to Hisao or Emi? Because, yeah, like, it's one thing calling someone out on their behavior, but you can, like, them getting defensive, I feel, is justified in, yeah, anyone really? Yeah. Oh, I feel like Emi's reaction's kind of justified. Like, that was a real low blow. Like, I feel if you're going to try and call someone out on something, you do need to still have a level of respect for them. And try to convey that you have that respect. Yeah, he really goofed. Yeah. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. That night, I go for a run. I'm solo for the first time since Emi got sick after the track meet. Skipped seeing the nurse, just in case he asked about Emi. I don't want to talk about her either. The next day, I do the same thing. Alarm off, stay in bed, eat alone, run alone. To fill the time that I would usually be spending with Emi, I start reading more. It works surprisingly well, until I find myself ducking into a restroom because I see her walking down the hall in between classes. If she noticed me, she didn't show it, even though I don't suppose she ever shows anything. Certainly not to the girls from her class I see talking cheerfully to her, or to her fellow track members. Especially not to me. Alarm off, stay in bed. Muto and I have a lengthy talk about the possibility that string theory is plausible. I don't buy it myself. More than 4 dimensions I can buy, but a bunch of vibrating strings at the subatomic level? That's asking a bit much. Looks like I'm not the only one to think this way too. Apparently it's not really as strong a theory as it once was. Muto says that's just because nobody has found a right way of looking at the data yet. I do wonder, like, is the nurse going to come along and kind of, like, why haven't you been checking in? Eat alone. Oh. The rooftop is deserted today. I briefly wonder where Emi and Rin are, but shrug off the question. The important thing is that they aren't here, so I won't have to talk to them. Since I have nobody to talk to, I bring a book with me to read. The weather's nicer, if getting a little hot. Hopefully it will be cooler in the evening. The cool breeze seems to back up my theory. Run alone. It is, in fact, cooler at the track. No sign of Emi, which is exactly the sort of thing I'm going for. I stretch out and start on my usual run, trying hard to ignore the lack of a running partner in front of me. Finding my thoughts drifting damnably to that girlish laugh, incorrigible grin, those wide and friendly eyes, her incredibly toned body. I increase the pace to clear my head, chew up the distance between me and the turns, find a speed that makes me think only of my legs and how much they burn. I glance at my watch as I round the final turn, noting that my time's gotten faster. My heart seems a little squirrely tonight, so I give myself a few extra cooldown laps just to be safe. No reason to bring this to the nurse's attention. I'll be fine. Yeah, a rather Emi-ish thought to have, I'll admit. I have to hope that eventually I'll stop thinking about her so much. That's all you're doing. Running Running away. I finished another book before going to bed that night. I'll have to stop by the library tomorrow. I don't know why I keep the early alarm on anymore, but it wakes me up the next morning just the same. I still turn it off and go back to sleep. That afternoon, as I get ready to head to the cafeteria for another solo lunch, I've got a new book about a couple of con men in ancient Persia that I'm pretty excited about reading. I'm suddenly cornered by Misha and... I guess just Misha. Off to eat alone again, Hichan? We've noticed, you know. We? Uh-huh. Hichan and I noticed that you've been spending more time alone. She wanted me to find out why, so I told her I'd ask you. I'm surprised she didn't ask me herself. She would have, but she wanted to get a head start on some paperwork. There's a lot of it since we're coming up on the end of term, you know. Why the sudden interest in my well-being, anyway? Shichan said, it is the duty of the student council to keep track of the emotional health of its students. To allow a constituent to spiral into depression unchecked would be an unforgivable failure in the council's duties. Well, that's easy then. I'm not depressed. But you're eating alone and nobody's seen you and Emi together at all. Something happened, didn't it, Hichan? Misha's voice takes on a slightly sterner tone, though somehow she keeps the familiar lilt at the end of her sentences. I purse my lips, uncertain about how to respond. Okay. This is... You need to talk to someone. It feels kind of bad just to dump this on Misha, because we don't seem to be that close to Misha. But to be fair, we don't really, other than Emi and Rin, we don't seem to really have like many like close friends in this route. I suppose the only other person I can think of maybe is Yuko. But no, you don't get places by just running away from your problems. Sometimes you need to get another perspective on it. Well, I suppose someone else knowing about my problem can't hurt. Heck, maybe Misha can even offer some advice. We had a fight at her house. I keep trying to get close to her, and she won't let me get close, and I said something stupid, and she threw me out. Have you talked to her since then? Misha looks genuinely concerned. I'm surprised, as I'd almost expected her to drop the subject after finding out what the trouble was. Yeah, that would... Yeah, it would help get... No, I suppose, well, someone... No, from what I to be fair, I know very little about the other characters, but Misha feels perhaps in, I suppose like we know with Emi that a lot of it's kind of it's hard to say. Like Misha feels like she's the only one who kind of like matches like how upbeat Emi is. Even more surprising is how quickly I find myself spilling my guts to her. No, I haven't. I just can't bring myself to face her after that. I made a complete fool of myself, and she probably hates me now anyway. Especially since I haven't seen her since then. You're pretty slow, Hichan. This doesn't sound like advice. Huh? Misha places her hands on her hips and launches into a speech that would sound more plausible coming from Shizune. Solution to your problem is simple. You have to go and apologize to her. Even things like this will just make things worse. You can't know that she hates you now unless she tells you. Otherwise, there's no evidence that what you fear is true. And if you really care about her, shouldn't you be worried about how she's taking all this? With a sudden start, I realize that she's right. I've kept waking up to an early alarm because part of me wants to meet Emi at the track for our runs. I've kept running because I know that Emi would worry about me if I didn't stay healthy. When I went on the roof yesterday, I was half hoping that she would be up there and felt disappointed when she wasn't. I'm an idiot. Kinda, Hitchan. So, go and apologize to her as soon as you can, okay? I open my mouth to say that I'll do it right away, but the lunch bell rings and I realize that I still have afternoon classes to attend. First thing after class is over, I'll go see her, I promise. And, thanks for the advice, I guess. Misha beams at me, as if I were a child that had just learned his ABCs. Good. I'll let Chichan know you're okay then. Yeah, you do that. With a wave and completely disregarding the fact that people are starting to trickle back into the classroom as opposed to out of it, Misha departs the classroom. I suppose she and Shizune have student council business again. While the afternoon wears on, I find myself impatient for lessons to end. I need to see Emi now. I have to try to set things right. Even if Emi hates me now, I have to at least apologize. I owe her that much. Should I meet her in her room? No, I decide. It would delay things too much. If I know Emi, then I can find her at the track. Still have no idea what I'm going to say when I get there, but I take comfort in knowing that Emi probably wouldn't have a plan for something like this either. Play it by ear. Stop being nervous and just get to the track. Figure the rest out when I get there. The track looms ahead, and another jolt of nerves hits me in the gut. I resist the urge to turn and walk away, and instead note with satisfaction that I was right, and Emi is still running. I don't make myself immediately known. I find a seat in the bleachers and watch her run instead, thinking back to earlier meetings. After a few trips around the track, Emi notices me and skids to a halt, an expression of surprise that slides easily into one of anger. What are you doing here? Not quite the response I'd hoped for, but at this point I don't have much of a choice. I wanted to apologize for what I said the other day. The other day? She laughs, a curt exclamation of disbelief. It's been almost a week, Hisao. Yeah, well, better late than never, right? Emi crosses her arms and stares at me coolly, as if sizing me up. Finally, she nods. I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then. I forgive you. Is that all? Her almost impatient question catches me so off guard that she's already halfway down the track before I think to shout after her. No, wait! She doesn't seem to have heard me, or she doesn't want to hear me, and so I give chase, disregarding completely the fact that I am not dressed for it. My feet hurt and my shirt collar feels like a... My shirt collar feels like a noose around my neck, but I still chase after her because if I don't, I'll lose my chance. Emi hasn't started to really accelerate yet, which is probably the only reason why I'm able to catch up to her. To reach out and tap her on the shoulder just before my legs give up running in dress shoes and stumble to a stop. Surprisingly, fortunately, all that running seems to have paid off. I'm short of breath, yes, but at least my heart isn't actively trying to force its way out of my ribcage. My touch on her shoulder stopped Emi, and while there is a flash of concern when she sees me catching my breath, it seems that she has a good idea of what I'm capable of, too. The concern is short-lived. What? She seems so irritated by my being still there that I almost lose my nerve, but I've lost my nerve enough. I need to explain myself. Why I can't just let the matter rest. Emi folds her arms and bounces one blade on the ground in an approximation of tapping her foot impatiently. Angry as she is, and as nervous as I am, she still looks beautiful. Okay, Hisao. explain. The thing is, I know that you're really sensitive about the accident and about your dad. I can see Emi's face twitch at the mention of the two things that have been steadily driving us apart. Or at least made me feel like we're being driven apart. But that's why I want to know about them, I think. Because I see how much they hurt you and I want to be there to comfort you. It makes me miserable, seeing you sleepless and depressed. And don't pretend you aren't, because I know, okay? I just remember that night when you fell asleep with me and had that nightmare, and that you were happy to have me there when you woke up. I want to be able to be there for you like that whenever you need me to be. The stern face cracks slightly. Emi interrupts before I can continue further. Just stop right there. We can't see each other anymore, okay? She's rushing now, looking everywhere but at me. I'm surprised she doesn't bolt. She knows I can't catch her. We're not right for one another. That's not true, and you know it. No, it's true. You're too... I know that I've been pushy about knowing your past. If you can't tell me yet, then at least let me be there, even if I don't know the reason. It's okay, I promise. I won't ask why you need comfort, I'll just give it freely. Emi's shaking her head, and tears seem to be threatening the corners of her eyes. Stop saying that. Why? Because you're afraid you'll take me up on it? I'm not afraid. I can't keep the chiding tone from my voice as I respond. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay. Really, it is. However, it seems to me that someone who'd managed to come out of that wreck and still be as energetic and cheerful as you are would be determined enough to face that fear. Determination? What do you know about determination? I know that there's a girl so determined to take care of a total stranger that she'd steal his food at the festival. I know that there's a girl so determined to help me with my own problems that she'd draw up a complete dietary and exercise plan. And that she'd not only draw up the plans, but she'd follow them with me, even when she couldn't run. Determined enough to keep me at arm's length that she'd put herself through emotional pain if she thought it was the right thing to do. Although, there's one thing that this determined girl didn't quite plan for, which was that I might feel the same kind of determination to keep her from being hurt. I fell in love with you, and I refuse to let that be thrown away because you're afraid of losing me. What little control Emi still has at this point cracks, and I find myself suddenly enveloped in her embrace as she cries. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just leave me alone? I hold her close and plant a kiss on top of her head. I'm sorry, Emi. You helped me when I first arrived, so now I have to help you. It's only fair. You're utterly hopeless. Did you know that? She hiccups and trembles a little. Funny, I could say the same about you. Can you do something for me, Hisao? Anything. Can you go, now? It feels like she's just shoved a knife through my chest. Go? I need to think, okay? I can't just tell you everything yet. I'm still scared, and when you're around, I can't think clearly. Do me another favor. What's that? Show up for a morning run tomorrow? I smile, feeling better than I have all week. Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Emi steps back slowly, almost reluctantly. She sniffles a little and then grins at me. A real smile that lights up the track, overpowering the fading evening's light. See you tomorrow, Hisao. Okay. She darts forward suddenly. Oh. Twitchy finger. Keep pressing the spacebar when I don't mean to. She darts forward suddenly, planting a soft kiss on my lips, then steps back shyly. Spinning on her back foot, she takes off running again. And I know that our conversation's at an end. My lips tingle with the warmth of that brief kiss and the memories of other longer kisses. I walk back to my room with a spring in my step. Tomorrow when my alarm goes off, I'll get up. Oh, is this chapter 4? Act 4. Motion. Okay, well I feel that is a good point to drop a save. Recovered successfully. Okay. Oh, I would have finished the stream early, but I kind of like that. Well, I was not happy leaving it with things up in the air like that. Oh. Yeah, I feel that does feel like a successful recovery, but oh, that felt like it was. Oh, stress. Oh, thank you, Misha. Well, Misha really was the one who saved that. Oh. Okay, I did save, right? Save. That is. Yeah. It's nice that it does tell me the exact time I'm saving. So I can kind of just compare it to my clock. Yes, that is a recent save. Oh boy, yeah, that had me stressed for a wee while. But if the achievements for this game are anything to go by, Act 4 is the last act? So I don't know if I'll be finishing. You concern me too. Oh no, I was concerned. There was stress there. Oh, yeah. So that was 2 strikes and going. Oh, 2 strikes. Oh, you'll have to tell me about it on Discord, but because yeah, I feel I need to close this down. Run to the bathroom. But yeah, picked both bad choices in a. Oh no. But yeah, I'll be continuing this on Wednesday. Hopefully things will continue going well. And yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow with Monster Hunter Rise. That reminds me, I do need to look into. Sapphire has sent me through some mods for it that I need to get installed. And yeah, I'll be back with Katawa Shoujo on Wednesday. I'm on stream 5, so I don't. I kind of feel like it takes like just like slightly more than one stream to get through a chapter. So unless chapter 4 is shorter, I don't know if I'll have time to finish it on Wednesday. As much as I would like to like neatly finish Emi's story. I always like that with streams, like finding a nice end point for an episode. Oh. But yeah. So you might be able to. Yeah, I'll see. It might, because it's the final one. I suppose it might be a little shorter and more streamlined. And maybe I can go like a little bit later if it like does seem like it's getting close to the end. But yeah, we'll find that out on Wednesday. Yep. Only other thing to say is, as usual, if you want to keep an eye on what I'm streaming and when I'm streaming, I've got a Discord. There's links to that in my YouTube and Twitch. But for now, I'll just say thank you so much for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the ups and downs of this one. And yeah, until the next stream, I hope you have a good day, have a good evening, and goodbye.